Good morning, all. Welcome to FPL Game Week 35 Deadline Stream Live. Graphics are back. For those joining in new, top right hand corner, you will see my team. That is lots for the game week. Nothing's going to change my opinion between now and deadline. I brought in Raheem Sterling for Heung-min Son for one free transfer. Yes, I had the money spare when predictably going with Bruno Fernandes as captain. However, the one player if I would take a punt to captain over him this week is Sadio Mane. Bottom right hand corner you will see my list of top 10 captains this week in order of preference. It is my own preference. And look at me, I can hear myself fucking twice over on YouTube. That's good, isn't it? Down the bottom you'll see the full fixtures going across for the game week as well. Many thanks as always to FPL Captain for his work on the graphics. Star man. Right, let's go. We've got 53 minutes until the deadline. Let's see if we can help you with your last minute dilemmas. Pete Haley's in, good morning. FPL Bay says hi, alright. Red Rose FPL morning. Vishwajit one. Should I get Vardy only for this week, -4. Not for me. FPL Bays, I wouldn't for a hit yet. Cobbler saying morning. Paul, me and saying morning. Jack Wilson, good morning. Arif Echo, morning all. FPL telling Josh, morning James. Good luck with the game week, mate. Thank you, you too. Is everyone happy with their teams this week then? Phil B, morning mate. Cheers for all the hard work, no problem, pal. Benny Blanco, morning James. Got 2 FTs and no obvious moves to make. Is Rashford and Saka out? For Martial and Connolly, 2 sideways a move. 2 lads in my mini league both have Martial but feel Rashford could still bang. Benny, I ain't got your full team in front of me. My advice would be this. I think that's sideways. Wouldn't bother personally. I think Saka could be really great for you for 37 and 38 by the way, whereas Connolly's just going to stay on the bench. Saka give you a different option potentially. There could be a good time where you go, I'm going to play him this week. So I wouldn't potentially make that particular move in my opinion. What I would say is you're saying you've got no moves to make. Look at your best 11 in your team. You've got 2 free transfers. This is a perfect time where you're looking at a hokey cokey, mate. So have a look down here on the right. Can you get any of them guys in for the week? Like for example, I don't know, if you're sitting there and you can get to Sterling on and off. Like get him in for this week and then come back off. I think that's great, and ordinarily wouldn't say that sort of thing, but if he plays 90 minutes today, then you're going to be fearful about Bournemouth 3 days before an FA Cup semi-final. Find something. I just don't believe it is ever acceptable to burn a transfer. I genuinely don't. There must be something where you think, I think he's going to score more points than this player this week. Otherwise, mate, you've got no excuses for not having the team of the week. Genuinely, mate. If it's that amazing, you must absolutely smash it. There has to be something. Do a hokey cokey, mate. Jeff Holt saying hello. Shamil Gulani, what's up, James? Brought in Allaire for Jimenez. What could go wrong? Well, the first thing that will go wrong there is that Allaire probably won't start, mate. I know West Ham's your team, but my understanding is from what I've heard that fitness is not there yet, and he will probably be used as an impact substitute in the same way that he was used against Burnley on Wednesday. If he does start, you might be lucky for him to make an hour. That's what can go wrong, mate. Clayton Fernandez, morning mate, good luck this week. Love the graphics, captain. Yeah, for those joining in late, FPL captain, our man on the graphics again. I see the numbers are going up on the viewers. Just a reminder, top right hand corner is my team for the game week. That's locked. I've done Sterling in for Son. On bottom right hand corner, you will see in my preference of order my top 10 captain choices for this game week. So for example, if you only have Martial and Greenwood from that list, my advice would be go captain Martial, but you're not in that situation. I hope. Clayton Fernandez, morning. You said that. Andres Yamesk, morning James. Gonna upgrade my second goalkeeper to replace Pope. Martinez or Reina versus Palace. What do you think? Martinez for me, mate. Villa are so shit, mate. You're obviously looking at cheapo options there. Martinez, he's going to play every week. We've got a couple of good late fixtures. I wouldn't have fear about playing Martinez in this game week if that's what you're left with. As you can see, I've picked Martinez over Pope this week. I would go with that. it's all well and good saying Arsenal playing Tottenham, but just the other team's Aston Villa, mate. They're going to keep clean sheet between now and the end. I know tomorrow looks particularly nice because obviously they've got Crystal Palace, but no, go Martinez. And in fairness to the lad, he's playing very well actually. FPL Bay, should Captain Mane question? Well, there you go. Top bottom right hand corner, I think Sadio Mane is the one player who I think if I had him, I'd go balls out and I'd captain him over Bruno. I think there's an absolute security of the start, considering he obviously had the rest against Brighton in midweek. And Liverpool have a very good record against Burnley. 10 goals in their last 3 meetings, including 4 in the last meeting at Anfield. There's every reason to anticipate a full 90 minutes from Mane today. We know Burnley can be frustrating, but actually I think the absence of Ben Mee might catch up on them today, 3 days after a big defensive performance at West Ham, particularly in the second half. So Mane's the one. The reason not for Salah is purely, genuinely, my advanced tier patrons will know from the article that I've released to them overnight, is the fear that he won't start. If I felt comfortable and sure that Salah would start, I'd put him top of the list as well. But I think most people think Firmino bench 33, Mane bench 34, it's Salah's turn. If you're asking me, my instinct is he'll start. 3 goals off the Golden Boot, 4-day break to Arsenal, another 7-day break to Chelsea in game week 37. That makes me think that Salah will start. But I think it's too big of a risk, personally. Frodo's morning, James. Good luck to all. The Emerald Pilot. Good morning, James. Rashford, Son, Vardy, Martial. Anything that's got a remove a Spurs player from your squad and the question, I'm not even going to look at the rest. I'm just going to say yes. So what you have to understand from my perspective right now is I can't bear to look at any of them in my team. Rashford, Martial's neither here nor there. So if you're asking me Vardy against Bournemouth or Son against Arsenal, yeah, go for it. Get Vardy in. And nearly every question you give me at the moment about should I get rid of a Spurs player, the answer is 90% of the time going to be yes, just get it done. The one and only Smith, morning James. Which player do you think scores the most points in each of today's 5 games? Not bothered about Watford versus Newcastle. It's fucking... it's quite tough. Ismail Assar in the Watford game, maybe. I'd go Jared Bowen, Norwich, West Ham. Mane, just over Salah, Fear, Liverpool, Burnley. What's the 5:30 against Sheffield United, Chelsea, isn't it? Dean Henderson. And in the game tonight, Sterling. That should cover you, I think. Eric Castillo, top of the morning legend, Vardy or Bruno for the armband. Have a look at the screen, bottom right hand corner, mate. That's my order of preference. Aritravo, afternoon James, Son to Bowen, DCL to Vardy. Yes or no? Yes. Aditya Bacha, Dean, AA, Alexander Arnold, Doherty, Justin. Which 3 to choose? You're on a wild card, mate. I don't think Trent will start today, but you can't leave him out. It's just not worth it. Trent's not going to be... I really like the Dean shout. I said this on the podcast yesterday. And I actually feel stronger about it since. That I really like Luca Dean as a shout for the rest of the season. In spite of how shit Everton have been. Really like that. So I'd go him. And the Doc's great. So those 3. Justin, good fixture this weekend. Not so brilliant afterwards, in my opinion. Thanks, Sherman. Hey, James. Hey, everyone. Lee Jackson, morning boss. Bench Pulisic or Maguire. My God. That's not an easy one. Probably bench Maguire. Oh, it's not an easy one. Really not an easy one. Yeah, bench Maguire. Saints are decent, particularly on the road. I mean, like, I'm benching Danny Ings, which I'm not sure how smart that is. Or I've taken to pick Maguire over Ings, but then Ings is playing against Manchester United. I took the same calculated risk when Ings played Manchester City, and I'm going to make the same risk here. I know, look, Bournemouth scored there this time last week, scored twice, right? So we know Danny Ings can return. Southampton extremely energetic side at the moment. But that's what I've decided. I think Pulisic, even though it's against Sheffield United, I'd possibly favour playing, actually, would be my take on that. I don't think, by the way, that it will start on Tuesday. Personal opinion, I think there'll be quite a bit of rotation for Chelsea on Tuesday night, which you need to consider if you're looking to get Chelsea players in. Mikey2908, seriously considering Vardy captain over Bruno. What do you think? Thanks in advance. Going for a -4. You'll be able to see on the screen, Mikey, what my thoughts to that are. FPL Cobbler, how confident are you that Alba can hit something against Spurs? Think I know the answer. Chance of him scoring 50%. That's an honest answer. Lee Jackson's Sheffield United look so much tighter lately. Just because they've got their team back together, Lee. SMN, Vardy or Fernandes captain. Look at the screen. Jack Wilson, yeah, happy getting Giroud and Sterling in. Rob Warnock, good day all. Do we reckon Greenwood is the real deal? And either way, what price do you reckon he'll be next season? We discussed this a little bit on the podcast yesterday. He absolutely is the real deal. He is mustard. I think he'll be... I had to look at Harry Kane's price after his breakout season. And Harry Kane didn't play till November. He had a full brilliant 6 months in 2014-15 and went up from 5 million to 9.5. Kane nearly finished as top goal scorer that season. He might have even got it. He had an unbelievable 6 months. So I think Greenwood will be top 9 million. And at 9 million, I'll likely buy him. That's where I think he'll be. FPL Bay's got pulled this week to get Ings in next week. Zane FX, Moyne James, any early team news worth looking at? Getting Haller in if he starts, etc. I mean, personally, no. I think if you're sitting there on Bowen or Antonio, 99% the two of them are going to start. Although Such highlighted that he thought Antonio looked particularly shattered at the end of the game on Wednesday. So, yeah, wait to see. Rockstar said he may have news, but I'd be very surprised if it's not Bowen, Antonio and Yarmolenko in a similar lineup to how it was on Wednesday night. Don't think Haller will start, it's my personal... But buy him. Nah, man. Bowen would be my preference, personally. Then Antonio, and I wouldn't go near the rest. Perlo's Pen, morning James. I've done KDB Sterling captain for free. Do you think he's benched? He's very low on your captaincy list. Yeah, that's the only reason why KDB is so low on that list. And the doubts about, oh, he's yellow flagged or whatever. I mean, there's no injury. He grimaced a little bit towards the end of the game when he carried on playing, and Guardiola said afterwards that it was a relief that he didn't get injured. And that's it. Somewhere he's picked up this yellow flag. I don't think there's any concerns there. But it's the fact of what he played in terms of minutes. And also, I just think Sterling and Mahrez today, actually against the particular openness of Brighton, might be better choices in any case as well. So, Raheem Sterling was a wrestle for me. You can see on the screen, he is my vice captain. At the fear, I think I've had to go with the likely effective ownership of Bruno Fernandes when it's a really close call. I don't, for example, necessarily think Sterling will outscore Bruno Fernandes. It was something I wanted to go with, but for me, the safe play this week is to go with the effective ownership. I think in the next, there's people out there already thinking next 4 weeks they're going to perma captain Bruno. I think you're going to find you're in for a shock. I think game week 36 and game week 37 are concerning from a rotation point of view. Now, at the moment, Solskjaer's getting it spot on. He's playing these guys, winning the games, getting them off early. And that theme, I think, is likely to continue. But it gets tighter. Palace Thursday, 3 days after Southampton. Then Chelsea on Sunday, FA Cup semi-final. Then 3 days later, West Ham in the league. Is he going to play all of them? Now, I think in Fernandes' case, he probably will. But don't forget as well, he also played that whole 120 minutes against Norwich in the FA Cup. He is due. If he's due, if that's such a thing, it's coming. And I suspect it'll probably be the Palace game. So I wouldn't be sitting there thinking you're locked into Perma Bruno captain at the moment. See how you feel after Monday night, and we'll discuss this again on Tuesday pre-deadline. 7:15. 6:15. Tyrell Maxwell, do you think Vardy is fit to start because you've not seen yesterday's training photos? Yeah, I think it should be fine, Tyrell. There was a lot of that last night, and my understanding is with Vardy that quite often there are days where he does individual training away from the rest of the team. And that's not uncommon a couple of days before a fixture to help with his recovery and stuff. And obviously Leicester don't play till Sunday evening, so I wouldn't have too many concerns about that. Yes, it is true that there were about 25 photos or so of Leicester training yesterday, and Jamie Vardy was in none of them. There was also a video that Leicester posted on their official Twitter, and you couldn't see him anywhere, but I wouldn't read too much into it. That's how I feel. JC, morning. Aurier to United defender or Lascelles to Justin? It depends what you're trying to do, Jay. Do you need something specifically this week? Steve Bruce said he hoped Lascelles, St. Maximin and Almiron, quote, would be okay. I'm not in love with what Newcastle have left either, really, even though we've got Spurs and on Wednesday night. I don't mind that move to Justin, actually. I don't mind it. Jeff Holt, what are the chances of this? Current overall, 2,154. Current total points, 2,154. Great rank, great points total. Well done, Jeff. Matt Gilbert, morning, James. Think I'm going to bring Antonio today. Can't stand to look at Son in my team anymore. Right decision. James Crossman, Salah to Sterling or Mane. I'd keep. Yeah, generally I wouldn't sell him. You're in a tough spot today, Salah owners. I feel for you. I'd keep him, not captain him. That's where I'd be. Scott Schrager, good morning, James. Only player concerned about is Pope of 2FT. Then you could also, Scott, look at a hokey cokey potentially. Goalkeeper in for Pope this week and then go back if you want to. You might even want to skip the Wolves game in game week 36. Come back to Pope for game week 37 or not come back to Pope at all. Don't mind that if you're indecisive. Who to bench, Vardy or Jimenez? I've got one very simple answer for that, Toad man. Find a different answer. You ain't leaving either of them two on your bench, mate. I don't care. I don't care what your midfield looks like. Take one of them out. Unless your midfield is like Mane, Fernandes, Sterling, Salah, Martial. Then get one of the others out. Seriously. If you've got one of those midfield, then that midfield five, then those two players are front two. And I don't care who your other forward is. I don't even care if it's Aubameyang. Leave Aubameyang out. I'm serious. Don't leave Vardy or Jimenez out, mate. FPL Fanatic, have enough in bank. Which one looks better for the rest of the season? Overall rank 7k. Mahrez out, Mane captain in, or Jimenez out, Vardy in, Bruno captain. See, this is a rank I'm not really used to with Fanatics. I'm not the best to over analyse on that. When I say don't bench Jimenez, you know my opinion. I said this previously. Sell him. Sell him. He'll kill you. I'd rather sell him. So in that case, yeah. I mean, look, you can see I think Vardy is a better pick than Jimenez this week. But it's worth reminding everyone that Jimenez plays at home to Rex this week. It's T-Rex without the T, which is known as Everton, playing away from home. And I would expect Jimenez to score tomorrow. Sheila J. Raj, Mane v Vardy for captaincy. Have a look at the screen. Mustafa Mohamed took Son, DCL and Jimenez out for Antonio Vardy and Ings. Great. We are coming up to 35 minutes to deadline. I'll start powering through these a bit quicker, guys. Rob Pick, morning bud. If you own TAA, KDB, Mahrez, Foden, Salah, is there any value in a free hit due to rotation fear, or is it knee-jerk? Allows an attack on Sterling, Mane, Robertson, Martial, etc. I don't hate it, Rob. I genuinely don't hate it. I think as an alternative move, it's okay. But all five of those players could start. That's the reality. A lot of those where you think they might get left out, in the case of TAA, KDB, Salah, example, is all on fear of minutes. That's what it is. What happens if they all play and you free hit? What are you doing with the next game week? And that's the bit that would make me say probably not. But I don't hate it. FPL Bays for captaincy. Have a look at the screen, please. Clopwhite, morning, James. Is it time to ditch DCL, even though he has good fixtures coming up with Villa or Bournemouth? No, I would keep, mate. Red Rose FPL currently starting. He'd be a good one to bench this week, in my opinion. I'd keep. Villa and Bournemouth in the last three. I'd keep. Great little differential, mate. Red Rose FPL currently starting KDB, Foden and Mahrez, but could bench one for DCL. What do you think? I've just literally said it, haven't I? Ronan Megan, morning James. I have money in the bank to turn DCL into Vardy or roll the FT. What do you think? I'll be looking at a roll there, Ronan, personally. I don't like what Vardy has after today. And I think there are many, many better captaincy options than him to this game week, in my opinion. I think his target Bournemouth. I get that. I think that was preset before midweek. Don't judge Bournemouth from what you saw versus Tottenham. It's a little bit like we say, don't judge teams defensively when they play against Manchester City. Don't judge how decent teams are defensively when they play against Tottenham. It's no fucking judge, right? So, yeah, you can still target Bournemouth. But I think there's so many better captaincy options than Vardy this week, personally. If he starts, do I expect him to score? Yeah, absolutely, I would expect him to score. But as I already said, like what DCL has to finish. Aditya, Dean, Doherty, Justin, which three to choose from? Alexander Arnold, I think you already asked that, pal, so I'm going to skip that. If not, I asked the exact same question for someone else. Mark Bairns, score prediction for Spurs versus Arsenal. 2-0 Arsenal. Jack Wilson, thoughts on Giroud? Avoid because of the Chelsea issue. Brings others into play very well. He'll almost certainly play against Sheffield United today, but I think not against Norwich. Alex Tyke, morning James, fantastic work with the Wigan pod this week. Thank you for that, mate. Would you take the risk and bring in Mane for Mahrez for free and captain him or roll? I'm 60 points off the pace in the mini league. That's one where I would maybe do it. That's one where I'd maybe do it, yeah. I don't mind that, Alex. I don't mind it. If you feel it, do it. Ian McCall said, do we think Haller will get a run in the West Ham side? Suj probably thinks yes. I probably think no. Joseph Humphreys, morning James. Would you do Aaron Wan-Bissaka to Dean and DCL to Greenwood for a -4, hoping it pays back over the next few weeks, or just go without Greenwood? Look, if you've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Martial, Fernandes, something like that, or Rashford, leave it now, man. That would be my opinion. Leave it now. The chance for Greenwood, in my opinion, I'm not saying it's gone, I'm not saying you can't buy it. I'd be at the position now where I'd leave it. I think I saw enough in the Sheffield United game to know when everyone was going crazy for Martial, that was the player that I wanted. I spoke about him more than any other player on the next podcast. All I needed then was the Brighton fixture to confirm for me that he was a starter now, because that was the only thing that I didn't know. I suspected he was, and on that occasion it's proven to be correct. And I think then that you had Bournemouth and Aston Villa to get him in. Why have you now decided now's the time? The Brighton fixture was enough to make a decision, and then definitely the Bournemouth fixture was. So now I think I'd leave it. Best 4.3 million forward ever. It will never be beat. Kids, phenomenal. Zaris, morning from Greece. Hello, mate. Foden or Jimenez for starting 11? Jimenez. Rob Pick, bless you, Benny Blanco. Me and you tearing our hair out on Slack. My patrons right at it. Lee Jackson. Oi, less of the video slagging. Lee, listen, I praised you guys massively on the podcast for your performance at Anfield, but you are shit and you know you're shit, just like I know my team's shit. Tom D, -4 to get from Maguire to Martial, bench Himi or Ings. Team would then be Saiz plus Martial instead of Maguire. These long questions are really bloody difficult to do on these streams. Plus Himi, Ings, keep up the good work, pal, smashing it. Thanks, Tom. The answer to your -4 would be no. If you're looking for one to bench out what you got, then I'm benching Ings, so I would agree with that. Alan Reed, would you start Reina over Patricio today? No. Zaris, Vardy or Fernandes for captain? Have a look at the screen. Sarosh M, morning. Mahrez or Sterling? Have a look at the screen. It's a theme here, isn't it? Eventually I'll get rid of these questions. Anthony Chung, transfer Foden, Sterling captain, chasing Kashmir League, 57 points behind. Don't hate that, Anthony. Gary Shepherd, morning James. Thumbs up to captain on the graphics. Evan says, morning James, best regards from Bosnia. Good morning to Bosnia. James Crossman, would you go Salah to Sterling or Mane? Nope, I'd keep. It's an awkward one. Fikri Furman, Son to Sterling for a hit. Yeah, Son to Sterling for 2 fucking hits, mate. Karthik Rao, the craziest transfer you will hear today. I did Holgate to Cresswell. It's not, mate. Holgate's injured. Cresswell's got Norwich. Axel DeMille, hey James, I'm doing Vardy for Jimenez. Need to save 1 million. Don't have the balls to sell TAE. So down from Doherty. Options are Bolly, Tarko, Egan, anything. 5.3. What did your gut say? Big up from Brussels. My gut says don't do anything. I hope everything is well in Belgium, mate. Jack Wilson, what about the stat that Mane doesn't do well when Salah doesn't play? I ain't bothered about that, Jack. Stats are there to be broken, and I think Salah will play. JC is telling Adicha to chill out. Exactly. No point repeating questions, guys. I will get to you if I can. Evan says, who is better, Alonso replacement for 2 game weeks, Justin or Watford defender? Justin. Jay Barker. Is it all or nothing, James? It's definitely nothing, mate. Arif Eco. Hi, James. Is it sensible to move out Calvert-Lewin to Giroud for 2 game weeks? No, I would keep. Azzy, which West Ham asset do you like the look of? Value for money for pick? I would favour Jared Bowen personally. Edwin Guan. James, I will still listen to your most recent podcast. Man, I'm not ready. Edwin, you're leaving it late, fam. Donovan Russell, Sterling or Mahrez? I was thinking Mahrez, but I worried he might not start, but Sterling will. Listen, second guess Pep, we're wrong, right? Imagine when Sterling don't play today. It's not like Pep can't do that, and then Pep goes, yeah, I've really identified I want you to take advantage of Bournemouth's Jack Stacey now that Adam Smith looks to be out of concussion. So I want you to play that game, the semi-final, and I need you to play against Watford 3 days later. So I'm going to give you 2 rests in a row. Whoever fucking knows with Pep, right? But yeah, it looks like Sterling probably will start today. That would be the sensible opinion. So I've gone Sterling. Northmeister, Salah to Mane for the rest of the season. Leave it, mate. That swapping, nah. Mind you, I like the fact that you're potentially swapping off the one that's just banged rather than the other way round. In Mikasa, Suchet is a great pick for West Ham. I think 4.8 million. They all laughed at Suj when he said that. Anthony Chung, do you not think Southampton high press against United defence, which can be got at, makes Ings a better choice than Jimenez? Form over fixture. Yeah, possibly, if that's how you feel. I'm not hating it. I'm not saying you can't pick Ings over Jimenez. Listen, you'll always get from me, pick whatever you think's best. But if you're asking me Jimenez against a toothless Everton or Danny Ings against Manchester United, I'm going with Jimenez. Yeah, you're right. It's fixture over form. But, I also got away with... City gave away sloppy chance against Southampton. And by the way, none of them came to Danny Ings, oddly enough. Benny Blanco, thanks for the advice and the hokey cokey. Salah to Mane then and roll 1 transfer. There you go. You found something, mate. Taylor Wilson, what 2 out of Holgate, Saiss, Lascelles and DCL over next 2 weeks? Or do I take a -8 of the next 2 weeks for Greenwood, Dean and 5.5 defender, or stick with this? Taylor's so much going on there, mate. I really don't know where to start. 2 out of Holgate, Saiss, Lascelles, DCL and Saiss. The Emerald Pilot, play Pope or Henderson? Henderson. Heavy Finger 7, cheers James, all sorted. Just want to say hi and hit a like. Thanks, pal. Appreciate that, mate. Hit the likes, people. Hamid Salah to Sterling and captain him. Not for me. Edwin Guan, Robbo, Van Dijk or Dean. What, to buy one? Oh, well, it's obviously not Luca Dean this week because I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet. But the capable, as Wolves have blanked in the last 2. I really like Luca Dean for this run-in, But you'll never ask me a question with Andrew Robertson in it and get me to say anything other than Andrew Robertson. So it would be Robertson, Edwin. Azzy, if you got a free hit, do you feel this is the week? I do, and I'm using it in game week 38. Taylor Wilson, Mahrez, KDB, Salah, Jesus and TAA, all doubts. And I have Holgate and Lascelles doubts. DCL also. Reckon many of these will start. Half of them. Avitravo, KDB, Sterling question. Bench Foden. If you got KDB, just suffer. Plus the thing is, right, with these City guys, they'll still murder teams in the last half hour. Look at Sterling in the week. Goal and assist in half hour against Newcastle. So, really not that bothered. Good morning, Dave Perrins. Your stamina for content knows no bounds, mate. No problem. I will see you and the other Champman guys in 2 hours and 55 minutes, although I'll probably be late, you know me. Edmund Guan, Maguire and DCL out for Greenwood and Dean for a -4. Don't mind that one so much, but it also feels a bit sideways. I don't hate that one, Edwin. Don't hate that. Meninda Priard, does Bruno get in the pen last game minutes? Rashford's turn this week. They've said whoever feels like taking it will take it, so don't let it affect your decision making. Jerry Millen, who should I bench? Saiss, Egan or Lascelles? Thanks. Lascelles. Tom D, apologies for the Himmy Ings question. Should have looked at your team. No probs, Tom. Gavin Townsend, great pod last night, James. Appreciated. Like you have gone for Sterling's son and captain him over Fernandez. I'm not captaining Sterling, is my advice. Bench boost active for next game. Get McCarthy or Martinez. for Button, second goalkeeper. Jesus, it's probably McCarthy then, because Martinez playing Liverpool in the week, isn't it? And McCarthy has Brighton. That's probably the right play. Kieran, I'd go Henderson in net. Frank Sherman, will I regret benching Foden this week? I can't read the future, Frank. Donovan Russell, alright mate, Sterling or Mahrez. I wanted Mahrez but think he'll be benched. You've just answered that yourself then, Donovan. Good morning, FPL tips. Eric Castillo, okay to leave Pope in the box against Liverpool? Yeah, of course it's okay, mate. Pete Haley, hi, I got Foden on the bench. Should I play him over KDB or... Nah, none of them. Ishan Gosh, start Mahrez or Azpilicueta. Mahrez, the upside, mate. He'd do Brighton in half hour. Ronan Megan, hey James, have you considered free hit in game week 37? Do you fear the unpredictability of game week 38? Ronan, I fear the unpredictability of game week 37 more. With Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea and Arsenal players all playing in an FA Cup semi-final first, and there being a big gap between the Saturday afternoon deadline and some teams playing on the Wednesday. I fear game week 37 a lot more. Ryan Cameron, could Greenwood be a midfielder? He should be if Rashford is next season. They'll both still be forwards. Albie, second, what goalkeeper would you recommend today? Ooh, for this game week specifically, if money's no object, possibly Patricio, actually. James Crossman, would you transfer Salah to Sterling or Mane? No, I wouldn't. Who should I bench, Maguire or Bolly? I'm going to contradict myself here. Bolly. The thing is with Maguire, right, if you've got the Manchester United defensive coverage, it is a really good differential at the moment because the majority seem to have 3 attackers. On that alone, I'd go Maguire, I think. Whereas everyone's got something of Wolves as well. Michael Svedin, can Wolves keep a clean sheet of double defence? Should I bench one and start Messina instead? Nah, just play him, mate. Azzy, I like the look of Martial being frustrated not to score against Villa, and that's why he's my captain. Good luck. Paul Coleman, morning James. Thoughts on Golden Boot, Theory, getting any of those, chasing it? Yeah, that's why I think Salah plays today. He's free off Vardy, and of the 4 fixtures he's got left, this is the best chance him hauling is today. Pete Haley, hi mate, are there players you think you might build your team around next season like TAA, KDB, Bruno, Greenwood? Well done, you've just named all 4. Christoph Damu, good morning, is it a good idea to free hit? I don't know your team, mate. We'll take out Martial, Pulisic, Rashford and Jimenez. We're transferring Sterling, Mahrez, Greenwood and Vardy. In my opinion, the answer then is no. Azzy, any value in Palace picks if you're on a free hit? There's never any value in a Palace pick, mate. FPL Bays, I'm captain Bruno and I'm top 50,000 and want to be safe over Mane. Good for you. Yulogal, morning mate. Does Jimenez and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Greenwood and Dean sound okay? We already have Rash and Bruno chasing top 1k. If you're chasing the top 1k, get into those differentials. But you're very quickly going to find that Mason Greenwood is not a differential. I keep saying it and it's boring. He's phenomenal, Mason Greenwood, generally. I'm so pleased that I got him in, but I don't know what the wait has been. That's what I'm saying. Why now? At which point did you not think after Brighton and then again after Bournemouth? I'll wait one more week. I'll keep waiting. This guy, he's going to keep playing and he's going to keep scoring. That's my opinion. But just as easily, it's the same with like Rashford and Martial and that as well. FPL Badger, Ben Dinnery just did a video confirming Vardy did train yesterday, despite not being in the vids picks. Thank you very much, Mark. That news doesn't surprise me. Jack Ukaya, how would you order this bench? Kiko, Lascelles, Conley, cheers in that order. Nihal, Vardy captain, thoughts? Look at the screen, please, Nihal. Pete Haley, any news on Holgate? I've not heard. I anticipate he probably won't be risked, would be my anticipation. Nihal, Pope or Henderson, who to start? Henderson, Damdi, Jesus, Foden or KDB, Greenwood. I mean, on paper, that's not even a conversation, really. Sachin Debasia, hi James, Salah or Bruno captain this week? Have a look at the screen. Tim Lum, what beers you got in? I'm all on Brewdogs at the moment, Tim. I'll be ready for about 2:30. Toadman, my other forward is Greenwood. Midfield, I can't remember your question, mate. I'm sorry, it's too far away. Nikhil, do you think Trent will start? Yes, but I'd be about 60% confident, and no more than that. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if he doesn't play. Grant Goswell, sacrifice TAA. There's never a sacrifice TAA. Dylan Farrell, morning. Good luck everyone this game week. Then Carter, sell KDB for Sterling. Yeah, okay. And then what you're doing for game week 36. Exactly what I said about the people who think about selling Salah last week if he didn't play against Brighton. If he doesn't play today, are you captaining against Bournemouth in game week 36? Come on. Think ahead. Everyone's going to suffer the 1 pointer with you if that's what it is. Mehmet Hamza, Martial or Vardy? Martial for me, I think. S. Ronson, hi James, defend a 45-point mini league lead and at 80k. Would you still do Jimenez and Rash, Vardy and Greenwood for a -4 considering some injury doubts? No, forget the injury doubts. There's no injury doubts in my opinion. No, I wouldn't make that move. Lewis Coles, Jimenez to Vardy for free, then Ings next week. Yeah, if you're making that chain move, Lewis, that's cool. You're trying to take advantage of different things there. I like that. S. Rossen, but also considering my role, it's gone, mate. Sheila J. Raj, why is Mane so high in the captaincy ranking considering he faces Burnley with 3 clean sheets in 4 games? Because Liverpool, in my opinion, what are we fearing? Yeah, so in the last few games, Burnley have done well in clean sheets. Great. Who they played in those games? Who was the last good team they played? Oh, Manchester City conceded 5. They conceded 5 in the last 2 visits to Manchester City. They conceded 4 at Liverpool last season. They conceded fucking 5 to Mourinho's Tottenham in December. They are as capable of putting up a really good defensive unit shutout to the occasional slap away from home. He also last season conceded 4 at West Ham, 4 at Fulham, and in Arsene Wenger's last game at Arsenal conceded 5 at Arsenal. They are capable of being slapped. That's all I'm saying. Mane is the one you have to comfortable to know he's going to play 90 minutes. If I had Sadio Mane, I'd captain him today. I know he's going to play, and I think he can outscore Bruno. He's the one player who I think is potentially worth the risk. Liverpool have scored 10 in their last 3 against Burnley as well. So, listen, you can't look at Burnley, oh yeah, right, been good defensively against West Ham and Sheffield United and Watford. It's a completely different comparison. That's why Pope's sitting on my bench today, right? If you ask me honestly, what do I think the score will be? I'd say probably about 3-0 Liverpool. That would be my prediction for the game. Average driver, David Silva's a great differential pick. I mean, yeah, of course. Listen, all the City guys are good picks. All of the City guys are going to get rotated. It is what it is, basically. Right, we are 17 minutes to kick off. There is a good chance at this point, guys, that if you're asking a new question, it's possible that I'm not going to get to you. Feel free to submit it, but I might not get your way from here on in. Christoph De Mayo, good morning. Is it a good idea to free hit? I feel like I've already had that one. In my opinion, would be no. Cole Newton, do you think Foden will get good points this week? Yeah, probably 5, 6. Hello, Luke Porteous. Mac James, what is your overall rank? I'm basically exactly 300,000 at the moment. Sheriff Joe, FPL Farah, Bruno or Vardy captain. Sheriff, please have a look at the screen. Bottom right hand corner, those are my top 10 picks in order of my preference. My team is top right hand corner. That is locked in and will not change. Vish Wadjet is 100,000 a good rank this season with all the data available to everyone. I'm there, but to improve, I'm just trying to force some transfers. Yeah, it's good rank, man. Top 100k is a great finish now. It's getting harder every year. And it doesn't even matter if people say it's good rank, it's bad rank. I'm disappointed with 300k, right? But there's FPL players who are better than me who've got a worse rank at the moment. There's FPL players who are worse than me who've got a better rank at the moment. So it's getting harder. It's going to get harder again next year. There's more information out there, more different content creators, etc. It's going to continue to get harder. Are you happy with the rank? That's the only thing that matters. I know people out there who like in the top million and it's their first season and they're so happy. And so they should be, right? That's all that matters. Are you happy with your rank? Don't worry about what other people think. Ryan Stubbs, ignoring the fact Kane is there, who would you rather was at Spurs, Greenwood or Foden? Oh my God, that is an unbelievable question, Ryan. Foden. I think he's magic. I think he's magic. He's such a joy to watch. Greenwood is ruthless in what he does. Foden is magic. He's so good. The pair of them really make me smile as footballers. They're a joy to watch. And they're going to be in the England team next summer. Both going to start for England next summer. Absolutely certain of it. I don't care who comes out the team. Those two are both going to be in it. And I genuinely think they give us a shot, actually. Foden is magic. I take Foden. And with a clause inserted that he couldn't leave for less than £1 billion, mate. Oh, dear. I mentioned, actually, in January, the idea of potentially saying to Manchester City, look, we'll take him on loan for 4 months. And I really don't like getting players in on loan. It would just be such a short-term fix that would have benefited everybody. I think if we'd have got Foden in January, we'd finish top 4. I mean that, genuinely. Lewis Coles, morning James. Jimenez to Vardy, then Ings next week. I think I already did that one, didn't I? David James, Whitway, Egan, Lascelles or Bolly. Preference would be Bolly for me. Fish, Wadgett, Kane and midfield in FPL next season. Yeah, bravo, mate. Mehmet Hazard, do you think Trent will start? I've answered that. Yeah, probably. Richard Roman, morning James. Do you think William will still be on pens with Jorginho back in? I think probably, yeah, actually. That's a good point, actually, Richard. But I'm not certain that Jorginho will be back in. They could very easily play Kovacic in that position, actually. Helmner, bring out Kane for Jesus. Bring out Kane for fucking Nketiah, and Nketiah's banned for 2 games, mate. Owen Kinnear, Jimenez or Kane to Jesus. Get rid of Kane. Jared C. Hi James, Sterling, Marnie or Cardi, captain. Fuck's Cardi. Better not be Connor Cody at Wolves. Mane, mate. Dylan Farrell, well done James on the draft team. Fuck's sake. Yeah, I'm smashing it up, aren't I, mate? And I did another West Ham player today. Francis Bilardi, Trent Alexander-Arnold is not playing. Congratulations, mate. You the ITK man now, are you? Joe Finley Badder, morning James. Interested to know where Welbeck would be on your captaincy list. Surely 11th, right? Joe Finley Badder, Danny Welbeck is also in my draft team. Managed to get him in prior to Norwich in midweek. These lot in my draft league are absolutely sleeping, mate, I can tell you. Danny Welbeck, in terms of captaincy, would be about 87th on my list, I would guess, mate. The Palms 9. Hello, James. My mate is triple captain Vardy this week. How do I talk him out of it? Don't. Let him do it. No, it's okay. It's okay. Genuinely, it's okay. If that's what he really believes, do it. It's okay. Look, he's a good captaincy option this week. It wouldn't be my preference, personally. But it's okay. Let him do it. He could go mental. It could be genius. Last game on the South Coast. Southampton, hat-trick maybe. I mean, you shouldn't read into these things, but... Thomas Powell, our admin deleted the league because I'm 100 in front and he doesn't think he can win. Arsenal fan mentality. A little bit, yeah. Katerina Fernandez, any news on Vardy? We think he'll be fine, Katerina. Sam Thomas, thinking of buying Antonio this week. Is he still first choice striker with Haller playing midweek, do you think? I think if Haller plays, we talked about this on the podcast yesterday, it's 4-4-2 with Haller and Antonio up front together. I think Antonio stays through the middle. I'd be very surprised if he was playing out wide, mate. I don't think actually playing out wide would particularly diminish his returns in any case, by the way, because he becomes an amazing asset from the wide area and on the back post, so I wouldn't stress about that anyway. In famous FPL, Henderson, I'm going to start rattling through these hard. We got 10 minutes. Switchbone, honest prediction for North London Derby. I did that 2-0 Arsenal. Do you think Foden will do well this week, says Kyle? Probably. Edwin Guan, thank you for reading my comments. Lord Linden, you're welcome, Edwin. Sean FPL, which one to play, Baldock or Azpilicueta? Upside of Azpilicueta is a little bigger. Alan Jenga, I have 7 million in the bank. Which midfielder should I bring in? Bowen. British says, hi James, thanks a lot for the great work. Is it risky to go Wolves double defence? Nah, it's okay, mate. Simon Dowling, morning. J23, chance on Walker starting for City. Probable, I would say. Donald Byrne, Jesus or Vardy for rest of season. Jesus. Sven van der Akker, play Richie or transfer in any player. Robbo, question. If you can get Robertson, get it done, mate. FPL marking Coyote, morning James, start Femenia or Lascelles, go Femenia. Hassan Abod, sorry if already asked, but bench De Bruyne for differential start, just leave him in the team, mate. Mark Bennett, hi, Son to Antonio or Son to Sterling, and Rashford to Greenwood for -4. That's a tough one, actually. I'd be inclined to go with what's the free transfers there, I think. I wouldn't even be against just going Son to Antonio and then attacking the Bournemouth fixture, possibly. Might be a different way to play that. I'd probably make the 2-3s, Mark. Ash, I really appreciate the question there, but I really want to help people with their teams close to the deadline. Pop that in one of my other questions this week, my friend. Ralph Stevens, start Messina. I'll tell you what, Ash, I'll try and come back to that question because I like that. Ralph Stevens, start Messina or Aurea? Messina. To be honest with you, the smart FPL players to play Aurea. Genuinely. As in Khan, if I have enough funds, do I choose Sterling over Mahrez? That's what I've done. FPL Live again. Jimenez over Ings is interesting. Is that simply fixture over form, or you have a hunch on Jimenez? A little bit of both is the honest answer to that. A little bit of both. Kieran McCormack, thanks for the Captaincy chat, by the way, no problem. Kieran McCormack, you've done that. Adam Button, would it be a bad idea to triple captain Bruno this week? Nah, if you're going to do it on Bruno, I'd do it this week. Actually, genuinely. Right, captaincies, I'm going to skip. Have a look at the screen, please, guys. Those are my top 10 in order, bottom right of my preference. T. Robinson, what's your reasoning for thinking Mane is the best captain choice this week? Certainly gets the minutes. I kind of covered this a few minutes ago, so I'm not going to repeat. And to be fair, I think you might have asked that question before I'd explained that. Avi's, without Henderson, Liverpool look toothless. That's the reason I changed captain from Salah to Bruno. What do you think, James? If that's your reasoning, I don't have a problem with that, but yeah, I certainly wouldn't have a major fear over the fact that Jordan Henderson's not playing. What Henderson gives them greater energy, I'd say, and I think that's particularly important in this lockdown. So I think it's a very valid point, and if that's what you believe, I'm absolutely fine with that. Sheriff Joe, any news about the sales? Yep, the rumour was Bruce hoped he would be okay. Ryan Gold, will Salah start? In my opinion, probably yes. It's just my opinion. Abdul, any news on Vardy? Yep, should be fine, we think. Palmjit, Salah or Fernandes captain? Screen, my friend. Avis, Foden or Sancho? Who do you rate more? Oh, Foden. But it's not really a good comparison. If you ask me Sancho or Greenwood, and admittedly I ain't seen enough of the Bundesliga this year, I think Sancho will prove, Greenwood, will prove to be the better player than Sancho. I genuinely think that. I'm not saying that Manchester United shouldn't buy Jadon Sancho. I think if they want to target winning the league, they need greater depth into their squad. I genuinely think Mason Greenwood will turn out to be a better player. Phenomenal. And so's Sancho. There's every chance they'll both be playing together for England next year. I mean, you could envisage at the moment a front three without Harry Kane that would have like Sterling, Greenwood and Sancho in it. And that hasn't even got Rashford in it. So, I mean, the talent England have got. There's no Hudson-Odoi in that. I'm sure I'm forgetting some others as well. Danny Welbeck, obviously. So, yeah, talent we could have. Anyway, that's getting away from the real point. Neil Barreto, should I get Barnes? Well, that needs some context, mate. I have no real idea. Jesus, the wife's fucking messaging me. Wife, do you need help with your team? Fucking hell. I'm talking to the masses. Stan, Vardy or salad? Steak. You what? Oh, well done. Good luck. Wife's gone Vardy captain, if that helps you. Okay, we're not. I thought we was up to speed. We're not. Jay Barker, well said, mate. Magic Petret, who to bench? Antonio, Ings and Willian. One of them. I'm benching Ings, and that's probably the way I'd go. Actually, no. I'd play Ings over Willian. Genuinely. Yeah, playing against Sheffield United, I'd play Ings, I think. Bring in David Silva. If not, should I buy in that bracket? Yeah, if you like, Zay. Cal, no question for me. Just want to say thank you, Cal. Jay Barker, who wins the remaining cup competitions in your opinion, James? Manchester City for the FA Cup, and I think Bayern Munich for the Champions League. J23, taking your advice on the Mane captaincy. Much love, it pulls through. Good luck. Rob McTabbert, West Ham team by a good source. Looks like Rockstar is going to post it here. But understand Fabianski, Fredericks, Diop, Bonner, Crespo, Rice, Souček, Noble, Fornals, Bowen and Antonio. It's roughly what I'd have been expecting, although interestingly, no Yarmolenko. But it could be that they've decided the back-to-back games are not worth the hassle. Rockstar, has he got anything in? Okay, so he seems to be confirming this. So, yeah, this is in from Rockstar 2 minutes ago. Noble, Souček, Bowen, Antonio will start. Yarmolenko, Lanzini and Aller all benched. Buendia, Hernandez and Pukki all start for Norwich. And Cantwell's back on the bench. I thought his season was likely to be over, but Todd Cantwell is a substitute for Norwich. According to Rockstar. Unless he thinks his ownership's high and he's just thought he ain't playing, I'll put him as bench. So there you go. Right, let's hammer these for the people. City I've done to death. Daft Paxton, start Jimenez or Bolly. Jimenez. Asher, captaincy. My preference is on the screen, mate. Jack Tasker, I think Silva might be bench, played 90 in the last 2. Ralph Stevens, I thought you might like that dilemma. Thanks, mate, no problem, Ralph. Jack Tasker, Martial, question. What about him, mate? Eugenio, Mustafi, captain. Yeah, all day long, mate. Lock it in, mate. And put David Luiz as vice as well. Z, already got Maguire, Greenwood and Fernandes. Good for you. That's the same trio I've got. Austin, hello James. Start Foden or Ings? Oh, I'd start Ings, you know. Daft Paxton, got Doherty. Start Bolly for double Wolves defence with Jimenez on the bench this time. Play Jimenez. Playing fucking Everton, man. That's my opinion. My opinion might be completely wrong. Anthony Chung, start Saiss or Aurier, already starting Doherty. Oh, Saiss on that one. Z might bring in Antonio for 1 week punt. Don't hate that. Thanks for those shouting about Rockstar. I'm just obviously cashing up on everybody's messages. Information periods. Barnes or Baldock? Take this as Harvey Barnes. As in which one to pick? Oh, that one's tough, you know. Oh, take a chance on Harvey Barnes. Take a chance on Harvey Barnes. Jack Tasker, Harvey Barnes, yes. Lewis Switson wildcarded my partner's team into a 76 and 98 last 2 weeks. Last time I help out. Yeah, always same ways happens when I help my missus as well. Cole JB, morning all. Going with Salah captain. Fingers crossed. Good luck, Cole. Now is the time to lock in your teams, guys. I remember my stream will be about 30 seconds behind as well from when you're hearing this. So you've probably got about a minute to lock your teams in. The one and only Smith, play free of Dean, Aurier, Doherty, VVD. VVD, Doherty, Aurier for this game week. Jack Tasker, bench Aurier, easy. He says though, information period, you don't need to ask questions several times over. I will generally get to you. Noddy's party, if you could sack Mourinho, who would you like to see as Spurs manager next season? Nagelsmann, potentially from Leipzig. The fella from Atalanta is a good, I forget his name, is a good alternative shout, just because he plays some mad-ass tactics. Pochettino back would certainly be an improvement. I wouldn't hate having Brendan Rodgers. Chris Wilder. Genuine, I'm not joking. Potter at Brighton. I want to watch football again. I can't want to watch this crap. So that would be the preference. I want to go back to... Well said, Dylan. But listen, I think we got through everyone generally. I want to go back to, as far as I'm concerned, it's 11:30, so there's no point for any further FPL question. I want to go back to the question that Ash asked at 11:10 a.m. because that was a good question actually. Thoughts on FPL changing to a 15 of 2 times goalkeepers, 5 times defenders, 3 times midfielders, 5 times attackers, with all attacking mids becoming attackers. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Playing a max of 4 attackers, 3-3-4, 4-2-4, etc. And add points for midfielders, tackles, interceptions. Won't do it. It's in their best interest to simplify the game and keep these guys like Salah and Mane, in my opinion, as midfielders at the moment. The calls for people like Greenwood and Rashford and Aubameyang to be moved as midfielders, my opinion is they won't be. They are forwards playing as wide forwards, and absolutely, yes, you can argue that Salah and Mane play the exact same way. I would like to see Salah and Mane move to forwards. That's what I'd like to see change. I think the only issue with that is that midfield then, I mean, everyone's going to have KDB and Fernandes, but then my opinion on that is price them where people can't get them. Price them both at like 13 million where people have to make a choice. That's how I'd do it. But again, it's not in their interest in terms of the way they're doing the game, because they want people to have as many of their favourite players as possible. That's the reality. So I don't see those changes happening. I can't see them getting to a position, Ash, where they're going to encourage the likes of defensive midfielders to be bought, because they want to keep people's interest, right? And the way to keep people's interest is for the higher point scores. They're loving it at the moment with averages of like 70 and stuff like that. They're loving it for the game. They think that's great. Because people think, I've got a high score, I've got a high score, I've got a high score. I would prefer the game to be tougher. It's always been my opinion. I would much prefer the game to be tougher for people. I think that covers that. Let's get confirmation of those teams from this morning. So we'll start with the Norwich team. They are unchanged. Rockstar spot on. Cantwell back on the bench for Norwich. So it's Krul, Aarons, Godfrey, Closer, Lewis, Teti, Vrancic, Buendia, Steepman, Hernandez and Pukki. And West Ham spot on as well. So Souček is the one to kind of watch from the eye test here. I think what you'll get is Fornals playing left of Antonio, Bowen right. And with Rice and Noble together, do you know what? Souček will be the one that's allowed to break in from midfield. They are Fabianski, Fredericks, Diop, Ogbonna, Cresswell, Fornals, Rice, Noble, Souček, Bowen, Antonio. Yarmolenko is one of the substitutes. So too is Allaire, Lanzini. Dickhead Jack Wilshere is also a substitute. Watford are unchanged as well from the win over Norwich. So it's Foster, Femenia, Kabasele, Dawson, Messina, Capu, Hughes, Welbeck, Doucouré, Sarr, Deeney. I think that was always quite likely. And the Newcastle team. Jamal Lascelles is in it. Alan St. Maximin is in it. So too is Miguel Almiron. And it also looks like a change back to a back five for Newcastle, to my eyes. Lascelles, Fernandez and Fabian Schär all play. Looks like Manquillo and Danny Rose as wing-backs to me. And you've got Shelvey with a three in front of that of Almiron, Ritchie, St. Maximin with Dwight Gale up front. That's a really interesting team, Newcastle, and that makes me want to watch that game. Particularly as I know Sudge will be watching the West Ham game. So yeah, I think I'll be tuning into Watford and Newcastle, so I'm interested to see how that pans out. From the way they've lined up the team, it suggests that it could just be Fabian Schär in midfield. The way they've done it, because it skips from Fernandez to Rose and then Schär. That would be strange if Schär's in midfield when you've got... I mean, to be fair, they've only got Ben Celeb and Longstaff as midfield options on the bench. That's an interesting one. That's one for the eye test today, to see how Newcastle line up and what the potential impact is on Watford. But I would predict wins for Watford and West Ham personally. Elite FPL Stevo, my good friend, says, James, your latest catchphrase has me in stitches. Look at the screen. Gary Shepherd, can't believe all the captain questions, to be honest. I mean, yeah. I don't know what to say, Gary. I think we'll get there eventually. Mark Bennett says, cheers, good luck, you too, mate. La Liga Schär is playing in midfield. It could well be, Pete Haley, they should give more points to defensive middle, so it's worth having them. I agree with this. Paul Meehan, I can, Gary. Joe Finney, but I think Schär played midfield against City. I'm going to be honest, I was editing the Wigan podcast while half-eyed watching Manchester City. And Man City had so much of the ball, I wouldn't have even known who played for Newcastle. Mark Ainsworth, Foster clean sheet. Question. Wouldn't have your hopes up, but yeah, possible. Thanks, Pete Haley. Gary Shepherd, St. Maximin Lascelles was so obviously rested by Bruce rather than injured. I think you might be right there, Gary. And Pete Kislov, hey, do you think Ings will start? Yeah, I don't see why not. And thanks, information period. Right, we'll leave it there, guys. For the Champman followers, be back here in around about 3 hours for your Champman FPL Game Week 29. I'm off to go and watch Watford Newcastle by the looks of it. And then obviously we've got football for the rest of the weekend. Enjoy. Planet FPL podcast will be back as early as possible on Monday. Suj and I will record first thing. Tweet for questions will go out on Twitter on Sunday. There'll be 5 podcasts during the week, including Liverpool v Chelsea with FPL Loco Lord and Rotation FPL, which will release on Tuesday. So we can cover Chelsea's game with Norwich as well and Liverpool's fixture with Arsenal So we'll be recording that on Monday evening for a release early on Tuesday as well. That'll be part of the lineup for the week. 5 podcasts coming for patrons as well. I wish you all the very best of luck. If you've made your decisions, believe in your convictions. As I always say, do it your own way. I'm just here to give my opinions. Have a great weekend, guys. Good luck this game week. Ciao for now.